Hi, there's Mr. Rops.
And Mrs. Flynn.
And we're going to talk about simplifying algebraic expressions.
I love algebra.
Me too. And one of the things that you may have heard like from 8th grade is collecting like terms.
I've heard of that.
Collecting like terms. That's what this is all about, collecting like terms. And so I know that like if I have a 3a plus a 3 or a 5ab, those...
You can't have apples and combine them with apples and banana.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. So these you cannot collect. But if I had a minus a on the end here, I can put those two together.
Because those are like terms.
They are like terms. So 2a plus 5ab would be. So let's do some examples here. So if I have simplify the following, in here I can see that I have a q, a p, and a p.
So it's good to highlight or circle or whatever with those terms that are like, because then it's easy to identify. We have 7p and negative 10p. Don't lose that negative in front of the coefficient there.
And so that's going to be 3p.
Negative, Mr. Raps.
Thank you. 7 minus 10 is negative 3p. And then if I do my q's, negative 4q plus 3q.
Minus q. We don't have to write the 1 there because mathematicians are lazy. They don't like writing ones.
Exactly. All right, so that's easy as can be. Next one. What is the key to this 5 here, Miss Flynn?
Well, that means that we're going to have to expand or distribute our 5 through.
Right.
And you guys all say, oh, when we draw those arrows. Don't forget.
Right. You have to make the arrows in your own head yourself. So I get 5AD plus 10A.
Now, there's a 1 right out in front of that.
Right.
So we can think of it as negative 1 times negative 3D.
Which will be a positive 3D times A as well as DA. And so now, if we look at this...
Do we have any like terms?
That one and that one.
But they look different.
Right, but they still have one A to it and a D. The order doesn't matter. We typically write them alphabetically. So when I collect these two, I will get 8AD, because this is 3AD, plus
10A.
10A.
Now, remember, when you're doing these problems, it's always a good idea to press pause, try to do the problems yourself, and then watch the video and see if you did it correct.
Sounds good, like a good plan. So pause it and try this one.
Okay. All right. You're back.
You're back. All right, so now I have all these things to keep track of. When I'm going to multiply, collect like terms, or multiply, what am I going to do for this?
Well, it means multiply when you have those parentheses, and we can think of those all as terms of multiplication. So we have like a negative 1 in front of our 2a. That gives us negative 2a. And then we're going to multiply that all by negative 4b.
The negative 2 times negative 4.
Positive 8.
8. A times b is AB. I can multiply terms that are unlike. Adding them, I have to be like.
So give yourself a pat on the back if you got that correct.
Hooray! All right, now this one here, we have multiplying and we have exponents.
Oh, let's not be fooled by this.
So I know I have to do the exponents first. And now this 2.
Think about what does that actually mean? What is being squared? It's really important that you try to visualize these in your head. The whole term, 2x, is being squared.
Right. So if I have this, I get 4x squared.
All right. Now if we're multiplying, we have a coefficient of 3/4 and 4. So if I multiply 3/4 by 4, well, that just gives me 12 over 4, right? Or I just cancel out those 4s, and I'm left with just 3.
And the x's multiply, and I get x. Remember, I add my exponents, so I get x to the power of 3.
Good.
Okay, so now this is a divide sign here.
Yeah,
to
sometimes
make sure
they
it's
look
clear.
like addition, but
It does. And this one is adding.
So think about order of operations. Do we do multiplication and division or addition and subtraction first?
Division and multiplication first. So I like to think of division as fractions.
Yeah, fractions are our friends.
Even though I know some people don't like them.
But it makes it so easy to cancel things out when you have fractions like that.
It does indeed. So if I have this, I know if I have y squared over y, that cancels to just
Yeah.
1y up top.
So I always think which one has more, top or bottom, and then how many more.
And then the 20 and the 4 becomes a 5.
Negative. Oh, you keep the negative down
Right.
below, but you could have
Either
okay.
way, it's going to
Yep.
be the same spot, which sometimes tricks people up. So if I rewrite this, I can say negative 5y plus 10y.
But those are like terms.
So we can collect them and get minus 5 plus 10 is positive 5y. 5. All right, last one, here we go. This is a dividing sign and a time sign.
All right, so we have division and multiplication. Now, how do we know which one to work first?
We have to do it in the order it comes because there's no parentheses.
So we always work from left to right then.
So I'm going to go the left, make it
Fraction
a
again.
fraction, and then times 3b.
Now we can simplify that fraction. We have 32 and 8. So I can divide both of those by 8, and I'm left with 4 in the numerator. And then I have a on top and a in bottom, which ends up being 1. So I'm left with 4b times 3b.
And then 4 times 3 is a 12, b squared.
And we're done.
We're done. Good luck.